Hi everyone. Hi. I'm just checking if I'm live. I don't know. I'm not sure. It says connecting, but I'm not sure if I'm live. Hi. Hi everyone. Hi. Oh yes, I'm live. I can see the. Okay. So hi everyone. Welcome to the third episode of Talk Fluence. Talk Fluence is an. Hi. Hi Sam. Let's just quickly wait for some more people to join. Can you just type a message for me to know that we are actually live? Okay, awesome. Okay, so guys, hi, welcome to the third episode of Talk Fluence. Talk Fluence is an attempt to celebrate life of all those people who are multi-talented and have been, doing have been playing multiple roles in their life, and they're not only, they're not only doing things professionally, but also enjoy their passion. Hi, Perizad. Uh, Lockdown, let me just add. Okay. Uh, Lockdown. Hi, Perizad.
Hi, Sachi. How are you?
Good, 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 good. So I was just giving a brief introduction about Talk Fluence, what it is. So basically, Talk Fluence is nothing but a, attempt to celebrate life of all those people who are multi-talented and not only doing things professionally but also enjoy their passion. So Perizad officially doesn't need any introduction. She's a well-known model, actress, and now a very established entrepreneur.
Murgi Wali.
Talk Fluence out, Perizad. It's so lovely
Thank
to have
you,
we
Sachi.
have been talking from so long. It's finally we are going live.
It's a pleasure. I'm so happy we're doing this. Thank you. I'm looking
Thank you.
forward to our chat.
Yeah, yeah. There are all many too many fans for you. They're all saying hi to you.
Thank you. Hi, guys. Hi, everybody.
Okay. Firizad, after such a successful film career, what motivated you to be an entrepreneur?
So actually, when I was 8 years old and I was asked, what is it that you want to be? I would say entrepreneur when I couldn't even kind of pronounce the word because my
Okay.
uncle was at Cornell doing his
Okay.
MBA. So I
Uh-huh.
figured I'd kind of, go to the US, get a degree, and come back and help my father. So my father is an entrepreneur, and I love everything he stands for, and he's always been my hero. So I think entrepreneurship was a very natural kind of thing for me. The acting kind of happened, unexpectedly, but I was blessed to have parents who kind of completely allowed me to kind of also follow my passion in a certain way. And I went to the US. I did my MBA, and I came back, and I was back at work selling chickens and kind of, I was purchase manager then, and
Yeah.
kind of handling the raw material purchases when Nagesh Kuknur's Bollywood Calling came in through Mona Irani, who was a family friend. And
Okay.
I naively thought I would go on to one film, right? And I would come back to work. And I officially asked my father for 1 month's leave to go to Hyderabad and shoot Hyderabad, Bollywood Calling. And, I shot it. I came back to work. Life was normal. But 2 years later, when the film released, it was like this super duper hit, and I was there at the right time, at the right place, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Offbeat cinema
yeah.
took off. English films kind of just started off at that point of time.
Right.
So my career kind of took off, where there was never actually a career for an English speaking actor. There were no movies like that existed.
Mm,
So
mm,
my
mm,
father and mother didn't really think of it as a threat to
mm.
allow me to do Bollywood calling in a way, and they're like, chalo, jao, go enjoy yourself. Not realizing there would be a career out of it. But, life kind of has its own way of playing itself out. And I'm so happy that I had the opportunity to act in the movies I did. And when I I was always connected to Zorabian. So when I was
Okay.
pregnant, I was working at Zorabian till my
Mm,
8th month. I would go every day to the farm in my little Innova, and I
mm.
would be working from morning to evening and drive back, and then again go the next morning, Monday to Friday. So Zorabian's always been like a big something I've been very proud of right through my acting
And
career as
even
well.
today, I think you are at work on Sundays as well.
So I have two children now, so I have to, when things really are stressful, I kind of pull in a Sunday. But I've been working with my dad for 12 years now, and working at Zorabian for 12 years. So I kind of Saturdays and Sundays are for family, but during the week I'm at work every day from 9:30 to 6:30 with my team, who I love and I enjoy working with. I'm blessed. I have a job I totally love. I have a brand and a product that I'm so proud of. And
Okay.
no matter what the struggles, no matter what kind of life throws at me, it's joy kind of being at the office and working with my team. I have good
So
days, I have bad days, but it's all good.
sure. So Pereza, there are many questions around bird flu for you. Do you want
Yes.
to take them now? Maybe you want to answer them
I
at the
can
later.
take whatever everyone wants to hear, right? So, the birth, I don't know what the questions are, so I'm trying to,
How are you
I'm not very
managing
good at.
business during bird flu?
So I think the chaos that bird flu caused it has been more damaging than anything itself. The whole industry has pretty much collapsed, and it's really sad. I mean, our business has gone to 50%. So and we're an established brand. We're a brand that is
Mm,
trusted. We're a brand that
mm,
people know we follow processes. We're a vertically integrated farm. We're doing everything right, and our business has fallen 50%. And I mean, the live markets are completely trashed, and it's really kind of sad to see what's happening with the
yeah.
kind of chaos that was created. Although I must applaud the animal husbandry department, they at least took action immediately,
Mm,
right? So
yeah.
the repercussions are still there, and there is nobody kind of it's still like it's people are still kind of I still get messages and questions about is there any bird flu, and I'm like, listen, we work with over 150 farmers. There is not a single case in any of our farms, and forget our farms, even in the farms surrounding us, which would be maybe contract farm to like Godrej or somebody else. There is not a single case of bird flu that we know of, and we farm in the Raigad Khopoli district,
Okay.
right? So
Mm,
up to Pune and the Ghats. So there's
mm,
nothing anywhere around. So I'm saying, forget
mm.
me. You're safe. Period. Because we haven't heard of a single case in and around Pune, Raigad, Khopoli, that entire district.
I think this is more psychosomatic as well because we are already
Completely.
fearing on
Correct.
COVID, and now all of a sudden bird flu comes in. So people have just become very cautious around it.
So I think
Yeah.
I think all of us, all the larger companies as well. I mean, we've all stood up and said, listen, all chicken is safe. It's not just my chicken versus your chicken.
Yeah.
And I think that's another great thing that's come out of this, um, I would say calamity, right? Because it's been so damaging. It's been so incredibly damaging. It's shocking. But
Yeah.
chicken is safe, and any meat, if you're cooking at 70 degrees, is safe to eat. Eggs, people ask me about eggs. Eggs are safe to eat as well. So my children are eating eggs and chicken every single day, every single meal. So it's perfectly safe and it's all good. So please don't stress. Enjoy your chicken and enjoy your eggs.
Okay. So Perizat, you are always under a social media radar. Does that add to the fear of failure?
So, Suchi, I'm very bad with my social media. So, if you ask my brand team, they'd be like, "Ma'am, you don't want to do anything, ma'am." So I'm not,
Oh, I know.
yeah. So I'm not very good at social media at all. And,
Hmm,
I kind of handle sales, operation, and
hmm,
distribution. So I am
hmm,
so, um, you know, to be successful with sales, you have to have a great distribution setup, and we do our own distribution, and that's why we are so successful. you
hmm,
know, um, there are so many challenges that get thrown at you when you're
hmm,
in the position that I'm in, that operationally you're always, no matter how
hmm.
brilliant your team is, you're always kind of, solving problems. And in the middle of all of that, really social media is something there's something glamorous about my job, right? And
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing
Hmm.
glamorous. What am I going to post about?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I'm not under that kind of pressure in any sort of way. And in fact, since COVID, I put on so much weight. I put on 12 kilos. So I don't want to be even like photographed. I don't want to kind of, you will never see me posing pictures of my face because I just I feel awful. I want to get rid of all that COVID stress weight that I've kind of put on. Yeah, so I'm not, social media doesn't, so whilst I enjoy it, I wish I was more proactive. I wish I was doing much more on social media. I don't even know how to do Insta Live. Jatin from my team is here helping me. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really wish I mean, my team would really wish I would interact much more, because I think consumers trust me, trust the brand. And
yeah.
if as a brand spokesperson, if I kind of put myself out there and spoke much more, I think Zorabin would do much better. But I'm just hiding behind the fact that I don't look that great and I don't look that perfect and all that nonsense, which is so vain and terrible.
Um, so, Perizad, you're a parent entrepreneur.
Right.
How do you manage everything? I mean, as an entrepreneur, then as a parent, all that. How are you able to maintain that balance? Do you follow some
So
kind
I
of?
So I'm not, I'm struggling. I struggle every single day, and
Yeah.
my priorities are very clear, right? It's
Hmm.
my
Hmm.
children. It's Zorabian. Baman always tells me I'm at the bottom of the list. My husband always tells me that he's at the bottom of the list, and of course, I don't feature anywhere on the list for myself. So
Hmm.
it's my kids first, and of course the
Hmm.
business. It's you can't be everywhere and do everything. So I'm not
Right.
the best. I'm not the best homekeeper. Like, I have a beautiful house, but it's not pretty and taken care of perfectly. I don't have the time to entertain and host people for dinner, because
Hmm.
I'm I struggle. I have two young children. One's 13 and one's 11.
Yeah.
They're in a academically brilliant school that is kind of quite intensive. To kind of manage them is also a challenge. So I mean,
Yeah.
like, I had geography today, so I was sitting and teaching my son geography. So it's tough. But I work for myself, so sometimes during exams I kind of can leave early and come back early, and I try to manage myself to the best of my ability. But I had heard Indira Nooyi speak, and when she said that, you can't be perfect everywhere, it was such a solace, right? Because there are times that I don't even know what's cooked in my kitchen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So whilst other
No,
moms
I get
are
that.
so on the ball, I asked my kids, best friend's mom, listen, can you send me the PTM for tomorrow? I don't know what time it is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always playing catch up, and I'm always I feel I'm all over the place. And I struggle every single day to get my act together. And it's a constant struggle.
No,
So
I
I'm
totally
not going to
understand.
for 1 minute bullshit and tell anyone that I've got my life sorted. It's a huge struggle. It's a huge
No, no, as a
struggle.
mother, I totally understand, Perizad, what you're saying. As a mother of a 13-year-old, it's
Yeah.
it's very difficult. And I
Yeah.
think, but what you said is very motivating because I think, especially our generation is always on the guilt ride, right? कि ये भी नहीं हो रहा है, वो भी नहीं हो रहा है, and what I'm trying to do, right? At least, when I am traveling or maybe when I'm working or I am out for meeting, I always have that guilt in at back of my head कि यार इसका टेस्ट था यार करा नहीं. But it's very encouraging that it's not just you, everyone rides in the same boat, and it's okay.
And I kind of then get short tempered, and then I get angry with myself. I don't have the patience sometimes, and everything is so cut and dry with me.
Yeah,
It's like
no, yeah,
everything has a timeline. So if my friends will complain that my best friend saw me after a year and said, wow, when am I going to see you next? So I'm just saying it's terrible, right?
yeah,
When you
that's
don't
so.
have time to kind of socialize or call your family over that often. So I'm just saying,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm also this year has been very stressful for me. Since March it's been incredibly stressful, so I've been so torn. Like I walked home the other day and imagine my mate telling me that Zayan ka kal science ka exam hai, and I would have never ever not known. So I'm just saying, like, things happen. But the children, once they put me on a guilt trip, I think for the first time in their lives, they understand mama's going through a really tough time with COVID and with this whole bird flu. And I think they have
Yeah,
more empathy than they've ever had for me. Earlier,
yeah.
my daughter would give me grief, but I think now they've been very, very good, both kids.
No, I think any which ways, 11, 13, they're almost teens. They're at a stage where they start understanding, they start empathizing with you. I was traveling to Bangalore, my daughter was even telling me, Mama, it's okay. That's okay. We'll manage. Right? Don't stress out. So I think, yeah, kids these days are very smart, I would say. Okay,
And my
so, yeah.
And may I also add, I have a very supportive husband, right? So, Baman always kind of glorifies what I do. He never undermines what I do, and that's so nice, right? Because your children also taken from how your spouse kind of, respects what you do. You know what I'm saying? And he
Yeah.
kind of always, I mean, all through COVID, because his office was shut, Maman was at home with kids for the first time, right? And I've always been the one, during, if there's an exam, if there's anything school related, I was always the parent who was kind of, front facing for everything. He took charge, and he kind of glorified the fact that I was working every single day in the office during COVID, and almost made me feel like a superhero. And my daughter the other day wrote this beautiful like essay, this diary, where she kind of said, I didn't really believe in superheroes till I kind of met my mom. And the whole
Wow.
thing was about how I handled COVID. So I just think it's also how your spouse treats you. Your children kind of then resonate that respect that your spouse gives you.
Yeah. Pirzad, since you come from a glamour industry, did you ever struggle people taking you seriously when you started your entrepreneurship or when you were going out for meetings or something?
So
Did you feel
I,
that not taking you
so
seriously?
I have kind of had to fight back the pretty girl syndrome since school,
Yeah.
right? Because if you're pretty, you can't be smart, right? If you're in
Oh,
college, if you look the way you do, and they think, oh my God, you get judged, right? You get judged for being like a loose chick. You get judged for kind of being, you know, oh, she won't study. She can't, you know what I'm saying? People
yeah.
box you in. This girl can't be intelligent. So when I taught Bombay University, all of Bombay University for my college in management, everyone was like, really? I'm like, come on, you know what I'm saying? So even in the US, when I went for my MBA, I would be the last girl to get picked up for any case studies. So you used to have case studies in groups. I would be the last person to get picked up, right? Because they'd be like, there's no way she's going to be able to add any input to us, right? So I've always fought that stereotype and this judgment, and I've always had to prove myself. Like, you know what, dude, come on. I do have a brain and I can work hard. Don't discount me for the way I look, right? And I think with work as well, because I came with the baggage of being an actor, and I run my father's business. So, it's like, from I had to earn my respect from the drivers, the helpers, everybody at the farm. I had to earn my respect in a huge way. And especially when I had to kind of go and deal with vendors and my modern retail trade partners and all of them, the initial thing was like, you know, really? Does she
Yeah.
know her business?
Yeah.
And then it kind of, the minute they work with me, then they realize how serious I am. So yes, it's a stereotype you find, but um, I'm so involved with the work aspect of it that and I've been taking it in my stride, so I don't hold it against anybody. So I'm like, okay, yeah, and then I kind of move ahead with it. So I don't
But
fight the stereotypes with anger. It's more like, let them work with me for like 15 days, and then they know, I walk the
yeah.
talk, and I kind of, yeah, I mean business.
Yeah. So, I mean, were you always like that, or did you, there is a, tipping point where you decide that okay, enough is enough. Now I'm gonna reverse this, right? At least as a female, if I talk about myself, I'm very sensitive about these topics. If somebody says me something, I will hold
Yeah,
a grudge for
yeah,
some time, and then maybe I'll recover. But there is
yeah.
always this tipping moment for everyone.
So I think I have a very strong mother and a
Hmm.
very, I have two younger brothers, and she's
Hmm.
someone who's always kind of, always, if I was even trying to be a little darpoke, she would kind of, you know, push me off the ledge. She would
Uh-huh.
always encourage me to do things a little fearlessly. And
Hmm.
she, as a child, she never discriminated between me and my brothers, right? So
Hmm.
there were never any. There was even the small things. If you don't discriminate, you don't believe that you're any less or any more. So something as basic
Hmm.
as like getting the table clean when we were kids, it wasn't just me, right? We used to all
Hmm.
pick up our
Hmm.
plates, and all my dad, my mom, we used to all kind of put our plates back. If one was washing, the other would dry it. And you know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So there's so much,
Yeah.
when we used to go partying, our timelines were the same, our deadlines were the same of coming back home. So
Hmm. Hmm.
I kind of grew up in a very liberal Baba. I'm not even Baba, I'm Irani. So we're like hardcore. You know what I'm saying? So there was no tipping point for me really, because really I was
Got
kind
it.
of encouraged right from day one. You know, I think the only time I was completely harrowed may have been like in the eighth grade, where I had to take part in an elocution competition, and I kind of didn't want to because I was scared of failure. And my mother was like, "What nonsense! Just do it." And I won. But I'm just saying. But there was no real tipping point. My entire growing up was always my mother kind of pushing me in not
Yeah.
one of those super aggressive tiger mom ways,
Hmm.
but in a very liberated way.
No,
So I
I
was never
understand.
spoon fed. I
Hmm.
was always
Yeah.
doing my own thing. I was
Hmm.
never, when I chose to be an actor, my mother wasn't on set with me. She
Hmm.
wasn't the one reading
Hmm.
contracts. I had to figure my own stuff out. When I went to the US for my MBA, no parent came and dropped me to America. I'm just saying, like nowadays, the parents go with their children and set them up and put them in the
I
dorm.
think
And
we
I
have
was like,
some.
I
Yeah.
flew on my own. I got off. I hailed a cab, and I, went to my cousin's house. She was a dentist. She wasn't at home. She told me the key was under the rug. I took the key, opened it, couldn't even kind of open the lock, But I remember her apartment didn't have any like elevators, so I kind of had to
Hmm.
drag that big suitcase up the stairs. But
Hmm.
you become independent, right? When you're just sometimes, asked to fend for yourself. So there was
Yeah.
no real tipping point for me.
No, I understand and I agree to what you're saying because I remember once my mother told me, whatever you become in your life, don't forget that you have to be multi talented and you have to
Yes.
learn how to multitask, right? Independence is one thing and multitasking is another aspect of it. She was always very clear. Independent तो होना ही है लेकिन multitasking, I think when you keep hearing those things, you by default it imbibes into you and you start believing into that. So yeah.
And also, I think
So
hard work, right? My mother always
yeah,
was like,
obviously.
hard work,
Yeah.
persistence, and
Hmm.
I think what's very, very important, and
Hmm.
that's one thing I learned from my father, right, is that
Hmm.
um, when you run a business, you're also creating a legacy, right? And if your values as an entrepreneur are
Hmm.
solid, and if you've
Right.
not cheated anyone, and if you have that solid a legacy that you build for the
Hmm.
next generation to take over, is a piece of cake, because your vendors will always want to deal with you. Everyone who's had a good experience with
Hmm.
who's had a good experience dealing with my father will deal
Hmm.
with
Will.
us
Yeah.
with no hesitation, right? And that trust
Hmm.
element kind of always,
Hmm.
so besides all the things, I think hard work and working with a sense of integrity, and honesty, you know.
Yeah.
Um, in Gujarati, they say like don't lie and kind of, set a basis,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
very deep foundation. Yeah.
Right. I think ethics is very important.
Yes.
So, on those lines, Pirzad, what is one thing that you swear by? You talked about integrity, you talked about ethics, but when it
Hard
comes
work.
to hard work, yeah. So,
Hard work.
when it comes to, spreading out your wings as an entrepreneur, when you have to go out and increase your sales and convince more people, like a lot of people here are asking you to move out of Maharashtra and, start
Yeah.
Zarabi chickens out of their states.
Yeah.
So what is one thing that you believe, if you have to start, so for example, if I have to talk about myself, it's having a good team, a loyal team, and a team which has very clear vision. So what works for you?
So I think, for me, I have been, running this business for the last 12 years. And Baman used to always tell me, hire for attitude and train for skill, right? So when I kind of recruit and when I get team members in, I'm so clear that I've always want people who have the right attitude, right?
Right.
If you see members of my team, the ones who are working with me right now, and the ones who are also kind of moved on
Yeah.
with their careers, right? Everybody has a goodness about them. I can't tell you, so they may have left and moved on, but they've not joined another chicken company. You know what I'm saying? So there's a very,
Yeah.
ethically, they're all very solid. And I think, in terms of my greatest learning as an entrepreneur would be, to get your hands dirty. I kind of tell all the young MBAs that we hire, and they all come in with a lot of theory, right? And everything you know, sounds great in conversation when you ideate, when you're planning a strategy. It all sounds great, but the secret lies in execution. And
Execution.
execution happens when you kind of get your hands dirty and really get the shit done, right? For me, that's critical. So I have no, you know, when I look at something, and when I'm looking at any solution I'm trying to find for something, or trying to fix, whether it's looking at our sales and understanding where we're going wrong, I'll get to the bottom of it. I won't kind of mota moti upar se only kind of address the situation. So I think in life, as an entrepreneur, with anything that you do, giving your 100% and deep diving into understanding processes, systems is very, very critical, is what I think. I see
Yeah,
a
I
lot
think
of childhood crushes. I feel like an old auntie.
no,
Childhood
no,
crush.
no, I think for us also, ever since we have posted that we are going live with you, I think our page following has increased so much that and people have been
That's so
telling us
sweet.
कि "Suchi, एक बार पेरिजाद से
That's,
मिलवा दो यार."
that's so sweet.
So,
That's so sweet. Thank you. That's
okay,
so sweet.
Perizad, one
You know what?
last
It's always
question.
nice. It's always nice to hear that once in a while. I don't hear that much anymore. You know what I'm saying? I don't hear it at all
Yeah,
anymore. So it's good.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that age factor now, but yeah, it's good
Yeah.
to
So
hear.
it's crazy, but it feels good.
Yeah. So, Perizad, one last question. If you
Right.
have to start a career all over again, what is one change that you will make?
Um, I would hire smarter people. I would not play safe. I would not. I would hire a talent that would challenge me in a way. So of course, when I took over, Zurabi was going through a financially very difficult time, and we launched our retail brand, and it was, I mean, we started with really basic, simple people, of course, and they were all incredible, and they've held us in good stead. But I think every year it's very important to kind of add on team members that have a skill set that kind of strengthens the team and empowers the current team to kind of move ahead. So if there's anything I would do differently in terms of to be able to churn a faster growth, I would have not. Maybe I've not played so safe with the kind of people I've hired. So it's I think that has more to do with my insecurity than anything else. You know,
But Perizad, I think
I
what
want to
is
be the
also,
smartest in the room, and that's not necessarily very good.
yeah.
That's not how it needs to work. So it's nice to work with people who kind of challenge you in a way. I still do what I want to do, but it's so nice to get other perspectives. And I think I'm blessed that the team members that we're pulling in right now are capable. they're thinkers and they're young and they're enthusiastic and they're, they've got a lot of strengths that they put on the table. So I kind of wish 12 years ago I had more of such team members on board. But you know what? In hindsight, you can look at everything and say what if, right? But
Yeah.
you make the journey you make and you learn from it.
I think a lot of things are situational as well, because
Yeah.
since you're talking about hiring, as you also mentioned that there was a cash crunch, a lot of those aspects combined together, and you can just pick certain kind of people. But what I feel is that loyalty is something that stands.
Yes.
There might be a person who doesn't have that right skill set, but he's pretty loyal. So I would still want that person in my team, and might churn him around different responsibilities to see where I can fit in. So a lot of things are situational. I think there is no hard and fast rule and something
That's true.
sure short formula कि ये चलेगा ही चलेगा.
So my,
Right.
my farm, I mean, we have people who've been there for 26, 27, 30 years, and
Yeah.
it's incredible. So all our managers, all our top management, I mean, even that cutter, and I'm just saying, there's so many people who I know the parents and the children are like my age. It's amazing. So I think at the farm there is, there's been such incredible loyalty. Even at the office there is, right? But when it's
Yeah.
FMCG, when you're a happening brand, I think the whole sales and marketing team kind of takes a big churn, which I think is just part of the business. And it's because we're front facing and it's the kind of candidates I pick up, and they're so well trained and well groomed by the time they're done with us. So I think they kind of get huge opportunities outside. But like Maman says,
I'm sure.
we all
Yeah.
we grow people, allow people to grow, allow people to move on, and kind of become stronger the next time over. So, I mean, hypothetically, I wish everyone stayed with me forever and ever, ever, but it's okay. Everyone does a churn
Yeah.
and does a move, and we still have the, I think, very, very intense loyalty at Zorabian. So I'm
So do
blessed.
you do emotional hiring? I mean, somebody walked into you and
But
created.
I'm telling you, I have like now. I mean, earlier I used to do a lot of emotional hiring. Now, when I go to round like 3, there's me and whoever the boss is going to meet. There'll be at least 3 other people besides me looking at that candidate. And sometimes I'm like, "Arey yaar, he's such a nice person. Now leave it." And they're like, "Ma'am, not right for the job, please." So it's I'll always go for the person. So I'm very instinctive, right?
Yeah.
For me, I have to like who I work with. And I'm a very, I give my all. And so I have to give to someone I like, so I have to love the person I work with. So, yeah, but I have been asked to control my emotions and not just only do emotional hiring, but definitely I won't hire a creep. If I don't like
No,
your vibe, I will never hire you. I cannot, no
we
matter
work
how,
with you
what your
on that.
resume says, I will never hire you.
Yeah. I think you have already got a couple of people who are ready to join you. There are so many people telling you, please hire
So
me.
sweet. So sweet. Jobs at Zorabian.com. That's where you got to put your resume in because we're doing a whole lot of recruitment right now. So, yeah, jobs at Zorabian.com is where everyone kind of needs to write.
Yeah. I think on that note, Perizat, I think we are done. We are already
Yeah.
done with the time. Thank you so much, Perizat. And one of the key takeaways, at least I have, is it's okay. Even if you're hustling, it's okay. You can never be perfect is one key mantra that I think which
Everyone's hustling, right? We all have to, and that's just life. There are all these balls we've got to manage, and that's just how life is going to be.
yeah, and
It's
we
never
can't
going
be.
to be. It's never going to be. My father tells me when I kind of when I overwork sometimes, so if there are times I'll be sitting in the office, if I get a chance, then I'll be sitting till 2, 3 in the morning trying to finish a whole lot of things because you're in that flow of getting stuff done. And he says, Parizad, this is going to happen 365 days a year. You've got to
Yeah.
learn how to balance your life. Burning out is not a good solution. So, hustling is also part of the thing, but you've got to pace yourself. And I think what I don't know how to do is pace myself, and that's something I really, really, really want to kind of inculcate.
I
Being an
would have.
entrepreneur teaches you so much. It's a
I'm sure
fantastic
it teaches you
journey.
a lot. patience. It teaches you a
It's
lot of.
it's fantastic. I'm telling you,
I think
it's a high. It's hard. It's tough. It's
yeah,
difficult, but it's the greatest level and the greatest teacher.
I think for me, though, it has even added to the more patience
Yes,
as being
yes,
a mother as well. I think when my first one was born, I was less patient, but now with my second one, I'm very
yeah,
much patient because I
yeah,
think now I'm an entrepreneur and know
yeah.
it's okay.
It's
Yeah,
taught you patience. It's taught all of us patience.
yeah.
But thank
There
you,
are people
Sujit. It was wonderful talking to you.
same here,
And
Perizan. Thank you so much
I
for
hope I
coming.
added value to all your followers
No,
and
no, it
fans and
was
everybody.
really great, and people want you to continue for another 15 minutes. But Rag, Amit, and everyone, she has to rush to her kids
Yeah,
back, so
yeah.
we'll have
I
to close.
have, yeah, we have a Hindi exam tomorrow, so we,
Yeah.
go and take that up. So
Thank you,
all this will be
Perizan.
washed out and my hair will be tied up and that, it'll be like Hindi time now. But thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It
It,
was great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Same here. Enjoyed it. Always feel energized now. Thank you so much. Lots of love,
Bye.
Suchi. Thank you. Bye.